All right, hey, what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy, BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today I wanted to touch on King of the Hill. Before we get started, make sure you guys sub, like, of course, ring that notification bell, and if you want to be a part of our conversation, you can join our Discord, which you can find in the pinned comment or in the description of the video. Now, what I want to touch on in King of the Hill is I want to talk about some of what I feel are the varied pros and con benefits. I know we did touch on this before a little bit after it was initially released, but I wanted to dive more into the specifics here, also because we have King of the Hill that's happening right now. And I want to talk about what I believe are some of the very important things that servers need to be aware of if you want to not cause your server to go into utter chaos. And I will tell you, King of the Hill is one of those types of events that can make or break relationships that you have in IK between alliances, between players. It can make some people leave the server. It can make people go to certain servers because they have opportunities to place higher in King of the Hill. It can cause your players to waste just an obscene amount of money and resources unnecessarily, in my opinion. And just almost anything and everything you can probably think of. King of the Hill is one of those events that you just absolutely need to properly manage if you want to try and come out of it each round on a better end. And let me explain what I mean by some of this. So let's first off start with explaining what is King of the Hill. So it's a 5-stage event that you will do. And on the last day, which is arguably the most important, is going to be your kill event day. You're going to have 2 days of that. The 4 stages leading up to your day 5 kill event, which is kind of like your honor PvP event, are going to have these minimum task rewards, right, that you can complete, these minimum accolades. And if you win King of the Hill, right, you have different stage rankings. Stage rankings, you get some decent rewards, but it's really the overall rankings that we're going to focus on because they incorporate paywall gated immortals in the rewards for this, right? Which is arguably an event that even a free-to-play could potentially place first in, right? If that could happen. Because of the nature of this event, it lends itself to spenders, to the pay-to-win players. Doesn't matter how much you spend, this event will lend itself to active players that are spending money. And that's because they are able to, well, just have an advantage in short, right, on each of the individual stage rankings, along with when it comes to things like kill event, also depending on how you do it in your server. Because of this, and because these immortals are coveted, you need 60 of these bad boys if you want to unlock the immortal. Though, the top 50 will get shards for Dito, but only the top 20 will get enough shards for the King of the Hill immortal to unlock. Now, once you unlock King of the Hill immortals, you will then find them in your daily deals, meaning that you have to keep spending money in order to max level these immortals. And obviously I don't have Dito unlocked, but again, if I did, this is where they show up along with Cyrus and eventually Arash when he's released, but let's just in general King of the Hill immortals. Now, if, of course, let's say that, now, for the time being, from what we understand, is that, you have 2 cycles of a King of the Hill immortal, and it goes to the next one. Starts off with Cyrus, goes to Dito, and then eventually we'll go into Rush, right? That kind of covers your first 6 rounds. Until more immortals are released, after that finishes, kind of almost similarly to like Arena, it will reset and you'll go again. But there's no guarantee on, the pace of which King of the Hill immortals are being released, right? You have no idea what timelines are in the game, so it's just good not to kind of put our stock that high in that and then try and make the argument that, oh, well, the immortal's going to come back again. They may come back again, but we just don't know. With that in mind, the challenging part here is that if you have a lot of players that, let's say, are over time, right? You just have a lot of like high-level players, a lot of spenders. You may run into challenges where some people, or a lot of people, want to place high and win these immortals. Okay, well, what do you do? How do you manage it? Do you even manage it at all? Now, I'm going to talk about a few ways that I think are very important for you to go in when it comes to this event. You can do free-for-all, where you just don't have any rules at all, right? Or you just have super minimal rules. I would say free-for-all to very minimal rules, and it just kind of allows people the freedom to do whatever they want. They can place wherever they want. But some of the cons with that is that you're going to have the majority, if not many players, that are just wasting and using more resources and spending more money than they need to, in my opinion. You can go with a semi-fixed format, right? But again, the pro of doing the free-for-alls is less headache, less managing, and you don't have to worry about a lot of overhead or oversight. Let's go semi-fixed. Semi-fixed is where you would say, okay, well, hey, a portion of the event is going to be fixed on, let's say you have a ceiling, right? Like, let's say you can't go over a certain amount of points per certain stage events, or you just can't go over a certain amount of total overall points. That, in my opinion, would be something more like a semi-fixed, where you're kind of putting out point minimums or point caps, and then if you add anything else there. Now, if you're doing like a full fixed, in my opinion, would be doing point minimums and then also telling people where they can be placed, right? And you could make the argument that semi-fixed could be a little bit like that. We could also just summarize and keep it super short and just say you're either going to do a fixed variant or you're going to do a free-for-all variant, right? Free-for-all, a little to no rules. Fixed can be a little bit of like a semi to full. Now, if you're doing a fixed variant, or let's just say a full fixed, you can do it where you say, okay, well, hey, oh my God, the cops are coming in so strong out of nowhere. I'm going to keep that in just for memory's sake. Okay, if you're going to do a full fixed, or just another way to do fixed, I should say, is you can say, well, the top 20, because those are the amount of players that will be able to get an unlock Dito, or unlock your King of the Hill Immortal, you could say, we're going to let people know who the individuals are that are going to be set or placed to be in a top 20 position. That would mean that no one can pass those people in the overall rankings. Now, this takes a lot of effort because you have to put a lot of time in for this. You have to draft up the mails. You have to send a kingdom mail. You have to send server mails. You have to send Discord mails. You have to send alliance mails. You have to constantly reach out to the top 300 players and direct message them on your server to inform them, even if it's just a friendly reminder of, hey, this is what we're doing for this event. These are the players that are going to win, just so you know. Be sure to not pass them. You got to promote it in world chat, possibly kingdom chat. There is a lot of effort. Then you have to message the people and have oversight for the people that are potentially getting close, if not going over the points that they should be, or doing more than they should be in certain events, right? Then you have to come up with potential repercussions or punishments for those people if necessary. It is a lot of work. But even with that being said, that's probably the con, right? Is that it is just so much work to do that. The pro, however, is that, think about it. If you are letting people know that you have a certain amount of points you don't want people to go over, or you could say, hey, just do the minimum task rewards for each stage, and that's it. Think about how many resources and the amount of money you are potentially saving every single player on the server who participates in this event, where they can use that money and those resources and invest those into other events or other areas that are giving them a better return. Right, everyone's just vying for the shiny thing in front of them, which is, right, a high enough rank to get this immortal. But not every player is going to be able to utilize these King of the Hill immortals, and that's because not every player is willing to spend $6 a day on daily deals to min-max these immortals from their skills as fast as they possibly can, because that's arguably what you'd have to do. You unlock, and then you're buying the $6 daily deal pack a day, or the 3 packs a day for $6, and that's going to help you max these King of the Hill immortals out that much faster. In addition to if you ever win another King of the Hill where they're in, again, anywhere in the top 50 where you can get some extra shards. But for the most part, you are going to get the bulk of your shards over a long period of time, most likely from daily deals. This is why this event is a spending event, right? Let's at least set the standard and realistic expectations. If you are a free-to-play player, you should never have any hopes of placing high in this event, because of the fact that if you are in a server, let's just say at bare minimum how you would go into a normal server, right? Let's say there's no rules, your server, your kingdom hasn't placed any kind of restrictions or anything on the event. The likelihood of you as a free-to-play player placing high in this event, with the exception of maybe with a big asterisk here, but for the most part, there is a 99.99% chance you're just not going to place high in this event if you have a lot of spenders in your server. The odds are very low. Again, albeit the big asterisk, or I should say this one asterisk. And so because of that, it is better for you to utilize your resources into other events. One event that comes to mind is something like double rewards. The furnace event, which I always forget what the name of it is, but that's the event where you can go and attack and you get gold from attacking the furnace structures on the map. Double rewards allows for you to farm more equipment, shards, and materials so you can upgrade equipment on more immortals faster. These are examples of events that you can invest more resources into because you're getting better return than what you're going to get for this kind of this one-time lump sum payout, which isn't going to benefit your account overall throughout a longer period of time. So just important that I wanted to make that distinction because these are some things that a lot of players do not think about, and I should more importantly say a lot of servers, right, a part of their management teams that may not be thinking about or may not have considered the long-term impacts of how mismanaging this event can cause a lot of problems. I have literally seen alliances in other kingdom builders leave servers because of these types of events. I have seen top players, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, strongest players in servers and other or kingdoms, leave their kingdoms/servers because of these types of events and just kind of being poorly managed, having unrealistic expectations. This is why King of the Hill is arguably one of the most important events for an individual player that needs to be managed properly. And that could be, as I said, anything if you just tell people, hey, it's a free-for-all, no rules, all the way up until if you want to have a bunch of rules on the event. It just depends on what your server wants to do for this, but I do recommend stating your cause. Why do I say that? Even if you're just going to do a free-for-all, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't need to tell anyone this. Trust me, you do. Why? Because informing your player base and communicating to your player base is how you are going to garner more respect from your community base. At the very least, appreciation, because you told everyone how the event is going to be managed or not managed, and everyone now is on the same page who read the server mail, because that's the other thing. Not everyone reads mails, but it would be nice if they did. But you also have the fallback of saying, well, hey, did you read the server mail? If not, this is where you can go find the server mail, right? So you're kind of CYAing, right, covering your booty, if you know what I mean. Okay, that is it for me. I would love to know your thoughts now on King of the Hill. How is your server managing this event or not managing the event? And then what are some of the after effects that you have seen from how your server is managing it for however long you have been, right, depending on the age and how many King of the Hill cycles have come around for your server. Let me know anything and everything in the comments down below. That is it for me. Until next time, we will catch y'all later.